Welcome to Chocolaad Live. Today we're going to unbox or reveal the Winterland Box Set here with Joe, and then we're going to talk about 10 questions we like to ask Jimi Hendrix. If you're joining us on replay, we'll be, again, talking about the Winterland Box Set and the 10 questions we're going to be asking Jimi Hendrix.
It's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. It's one of my first albums I've really dived into, so I'm pretty excited.
I'm excited too. I got the Winterland Box Set at one of the local record stores closed down, unfortunately. But the positive side of that was I got a cheap Winterland Box Set.
Score.
So let's get into it. I think we can show everybody. This is the Winterland Jimi Hendrix Experience Box Set. Why don't you open it up?
Oh, yeah.
We'll see.
You guys want to see what's inside?
maybe they do, or not. And Joe is part of Baby Shark Beard, so you may know him from that.
Yeah.
So this is cool. That I like this is the it's upside down. Joe, you got it upside. There we go. Yeah.
Is it up? Is it normal now? Okay.
This is
It's psychedelic, man.
It is psychedelic.
You got to be upside down to get it.
Is that what it is?
All right.
It's not upside down. Just like the way Jimi Hendrix plays guitar, he's playing left-handed upside down.
Yeah, it's just one of those
You
things.
gotta play it upside down that way. So, of course it is.
All right.
But I thought this was there's some great shots of him playing at Winterland. That they included in the box set, and little blurbs about Jimi Hendrix Experience, the band, and some information you might not otherwise know. I thought production-wise, it's let's see, you guys see this. It's very. You're a Jimi Hendrix fan. This is awesome.
Yeah, the prints in it, the shots were specific to, exclusive to that album as far as what I know. Which is
Why don't we split up? Let's pull them out one at a time so folks can back up. You got there's 8. It ends up being 8 separate albums in here. There ends up being seven separate albums in the box set.
That sucker flew out there quicker than.
All right, we'll put that back. Yeah. Well, one thing you can see, the vinyl in here is 180 gram vinyl. I don't think I'm gonna scratch this thing. Okay.
Sorry about that.
So it's a really nice vinyl. The first record, this has got "Sunshine of Your Love," "Hear My Train Coming," and the other side is "Tax Free" and "Lover Man." This was all from the 1968 Winterland concert. It has the high quality inserts. Keep your records from getting scratched, unless of course you invite Joe over.
Well, even to me to chuck a collector album, out of its carrying case onto the floor. Would you like to see number 2?
Let's try to keep them in the case. So yeah, here's number 2. This has got Killing Floor, Foxy Lady. I love the rendition of Foxy Lady on here. Hey Joe, Star Spangled Banner, of course, Purple Haze.
Oh yeah.
All these are. This is October 10th in San Francisco. So that's 2. Then once you is it sure? Got 3. And we played Hey Joe the other night, I think, off this one.
Yeah, Hey Joe, which was absolutely awesome.
So we were spinning it. How did you like hearing it on vinyl versus when you play it off of? What do you normally listen to?
So I stream. It's usually on Spotify or something like that. Obviously the vinyl experience is you got the collection part of it, right? So you've got all this packaging, and it's just cool to have it on vinyl, and the artwork that comes with the albums. I would say, for me, I don't know if I don't really have that ear yet. I think it's probably something kind of like cooking. The more you do it, the more you pick up those little details. But because I feel like listening to it on vinyl is you're gonna catch more things than you would just streaming on Spotify or something.
You can. I mean, a lot of it has to do with your setup. So like if you have, I mean, if you're listening to it on small headphones, if you're listening to it on small headphones,
Sure.
It's hard to pick up any detailed differences. But if you're
Okay.
you've got bigger speakers and a bigger amp, like a little bit better amp. You don't have to go crazy expensive, but you can start picking up. You can start hearing differences.
Okay.
So what did you think? We listened to it downstairs.
You listen to Hey Joe. I listened to pretty much, I think it was at least a couple of these shows on Spotify. I think that's all they had, but I would have to say Purple Haze, man. That was one of my favorite tunes off this album. So
Yeah, I like Purple Haze too. He's going for
that's very cool.
yeah. So it's supposed to be the whole LSD experience, the psych
Mhm.
experience. So kind of the time distortion,
Oh,
depersonalization. Yeah,
and
that's
Purple Haze.
and Purple Haze, depersonalization.
Man, I gotta say, like Purple Haze is just one of those ones where you turn that song on and it's just like you can't help. Like you could have a completely crappy day, right? You know, whatever's going wrong. That song, like you can't not be in a good mood after hearing that song.
I know, Shane. I was playing. It took me. This is several hours with the music. But every time I put it on there, I'm air guitaring downstairs. And of course,
Yeah.
I'm air guitaring.
I believe it.
Like I'm air guitaring. And I remember he's like I'm not I'm not.
You're to the left.
Like I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm doing. You have the traditional.
Oh, okay, air guitar. Yeah. Okay.
So, my.
I don't know if there's a wrong. Is there a wrong way to play the air guitar?
Well, I'm saying I'm not air guitaring Jimi Hendrix. I'm doing my own guitar.
Oh, okay.
Not
the method acting of getting into being Jimi Hendrix.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. I was not doing that. But as soon as I put it on there, you're right. It's like the emotion I get off it was, it's just fun.
It is.
A lot of times it's just fun.
Picks you up. Yeah. It's a good tune. That bit in there where excuse me while I kiss the sky, dude, I sing that all the time. Just like I'll be just at work randomly, like just bored out of my mind, and it's just a good tune, man.
Yeah,
it's just awesome.
See, these are a couple. So like this 7 here is a bonus disc. It's got Foxy Lady, it's got Beauty Child, and Red House. So it's a couple.
Foxy Lady. I think everybody knows that too. Like you could just say that to like, someone who's like 12, and they'd be like, "I've heard that before."
So you're 12, they would.
Yeah, they know. Like you know what I mean? You just know.
I'm trying to think like I walked around singing Foxy Lady when I was 12. I remember my bike. The album 8 here starts with another version of Purple Haze, but also has this cool interview from the Boxing Garden backstage interview, and I love listening to that with.
Yeah, I would love to check that out too.
And listening to Jimi Hendrix, the guy interviewing him is so pretentious.
Really?
Yeah, because he's like coming across like, why should Americans pay attention to these British band invasions? He's like, why should we be paying attention to you over there in England? And Jimmy's like he doesn't know what to do with this guy.
What do you say to that? Like, the war's over. I mean, I don't know. That seems like a very pretentious thing to say.
So this guy doesn't thinks our independence hasn't happened yet.
I just feel like, like he's holding on to like, I don't know, maybe he thinks like it's the greatest country in the world. I don't know. I get it, but I mean, they're allies. There's good things that come out of that area, right?
Yeah.
And there's good things in America as well. Like,
yeah, but why did all these UK? I think his thing is, why are all these little UK bands? Why are these British bands coming over to the US now?
Oh, okay.
Because you got same time Beatles, and you got.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know. Then what do you say to that?
Jimmy was just like, I want to. Yeah, he said
they're musicians.
Yeah, that's what it was like backstage when he was getting ready to practice. It was just kind of the interview style was very much like that, where he's like, I want to go practice, and they go,
Yeah, I mean, as a musician, their goal is to spread. They want to. I mean, they're entertaining and expressing themselves through the music to the people, right? So it's not a matter of where it is. It's just they want to reach out to everybody. I think in that way. That's probably why That's why if I was a musician, if I could play music, yeah, I'd be traveling everywhere. I'd be like, let's travel and see lots of people. I don't know, hang out. It'd be cool.
So you'd be like in South Sudan, just trying to solve the conflict out there.
If I could, I would, man.
Yeah, out there playing. Please don't kill each other.
Yes. Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, why not?
So we on. Well, cool. So the let's see, we have the backside. So that was pretty much the entire box set review. I really like this purchase. I thought it was surprisingly good, with all the different goodies in this. Mm-hmm. And now that I have 7 nice records, it's still pretty good with 7 records instead of my original 8.
Yeah, I'm like I said, for me, this was a really cool experience diving into Winterland.
So, but what did you really think? Like when you listened to it on vinyl downstairs, like what were you like, oh, this is cool, or are you just like, all right, Chris has got this set up and I don't hear any difference?
No, you can. I think it was something more that like I felt more than like I really had
like the subs were rocking.
Yeah, like yeah. I mean, like as far as like the technology side of it, like listening on vinyl and etc. Like you could feel there was a difference compared to streaming on Spotify to my earbuds.
So if I got you a like a vintage record player,
yeah,
would you?
You're gonna do that?
Would you listen to it?
This is a what if situation. Okay.
Well, I have one in the garage. I just need to clean it up.
Well, let's clean it up. Yeah, I would definitely listen to it. I think it'd be cool.
It's like it's not a fancy one. I think it's a Merit. It's like old. I think it's 19. It was right in the prime of record players and stuff.
Oh wow.
You just have to dust it off.
So for me, asking someone who more knows about this, why vinyl? I mean, what I mean?
Well, sometimes when they put it on CD, if you get a good quality CD, you can get a really good sound. And so you gotta have decent speakers. You have to have a decent amp.
Okay.
A lot of times, not a lot. Some of the CDs they make, when they do it digital, they compress it so it sounds good on little speakers. And so when you play it on big speakers, you don't get the full. You miss stuff that hasn't been encoded. And so if you get a high quality, and especially if you go to a super audio CD, you get a really good high quality music. If you're looking for on vinyl, a lot of times you can get a really high quality recording for like $2. Like you can find a vinyl record for $2. You can get a super, really nice recording. You can also, like, if you're buying, this is a more expensive box set, but you can still get a really high quality audio experience. It's recorded in analog, so you're some people will call it a warmer experience as you're listening to it. But like personally,
you feel it.
Yeah, you feel it a little bit different. But I would argue that for me, like if I start going into a super audio CD, which is a more expensive CD, versus like that starts being equivalent to like a high quality analog system.
Okay.
I have a mid-range system. Like some people have like $100,000. Like I'm not like going there, but I just think you can get a really good quality music off a vinyl record for really not too expensive. Digital music, if you get a high quality audio stream, sounds really well too, but you have to have that paired with the right amplifier, right digital audio converter and whatnot.
Okay.
Out there, but I didn't know, like when you were down there, I didn't know it was.
It was just a cool, like it was like, it's in surround sound. It was just it was neat.
Yeah.
I could see myself just hanging out down there, throwing a record on.
At night, that's just what I've been doing is like to chill, throw a record on, and you kind of chill down. And Scamper, of course.
Scamper?
He likes to chill as well down there.
He perks up.
He's joining us. So one of the things we want to do now is get into what questions you want to ask Jimi Hendrix.
Ooh. Questions.
Question time.
Questions.
Let's first put the box set away carefully, and I have water out here, so I thought, let's put.
If you could hand me that water, I just need a sip of water before I put this in.
No, let's put these away first.
Case.
Yes. And then we'll step. There we go.
Cool.
So what kind of?
It's box stuff. Got it?
Yes. Safe over here. So what kind of questions you got for Jimi Hendrix?
Questions.
You go first. Question 1.
Question 1. All right. Those are kind of some heavy ones. One of the main ones I think I would like to, obviously getting to talk, first of all, scenario, right? We're talking to Jimi Hendrix. This dude's cool. Like, for me, it would, I'd be like, dude, you're cool.
How
are you so cool?
is he 25 when you're talking to him, or is he?
Yeah, I think he's probably like 25, 28.
So, like, how do you vision talking to Jimi Hendrix? Like, when we're asking Jimi Hendrix these questions.
So Jimi Hendrix.
Is this Jimi Hendrix when he's 25, or is this baby boomer Jimi Hendrix? Like, you're talking to him and he's in line at Trader Joe's and he's grumpy because the line's too long.
I see that would be an interesting setting, but I envision talking to Jimi Hendrix like at a show, right? He just played an insanely awesome show. He's coming off backstage, and I got cool, kick-ass backstage passes. And I'd be like, yeah, what's up, man? He's like, hey, come hang out.
It's Joe!
Yeah.
It's Joe!
He knows me.
Joe, dude!
Yeah.
I remember you!
And yeah, so then that would go into like, I'm not really asking questions. We're just hanging out and just talking.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, hey, you were in the Army? I was like, man, I was in the Army.
No way!
Yeah, and he'd be like, what? Yeah.
Screaming Eagle?
I wasn't a Screaming Eagle.
I wasn't Screaming Eagle.
I was an MP in the Army.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're keeping everybody else from having fun.
Yeah, that was.
You're busting all the hooch
That's
sacks.
part of the jobs. Yeah. I was what now?
You're going after all the hooch, the fake distilleries.
There was fake distilleries. I didn't know about this.
Like people were trying to make hooch in their like
Oh, in their barracks or something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No, we did a lot of training. That was the unit I was with. We did trained a lot of Afghan police and stuff.
Afghan police stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, I would want to know about that because he was attached to, like you said, the Screaming Eagles. For those of you who may not know just a little bit of background about the Screaming Eagles, they're a pretty widely known division.
Airborne
For the roles that they played in World War II. I think that's where a lot of people kind of know them.
Well, even today, it's the 101st.
And today, yeah, the 101st, obviously, yeah. From World War II and, so on, right?
I remember going to the 101st, they had the Army 10 miler out there in Virginia.
Yeah.
And when you run the Army 10 miler, all these different units had tents set up at the end. And each unit tries to outdo each other in hospitality. And
in hospitality?
Yeah, so
that's one I did not think that you were going to say.
What did you think I was going to say?
It was going to be maybe something else.
Yeah, no, it's hospitality. So you go in there and they have who has the best food. So the units from Germany all come in with some good German schnitzel and beer and stuff, and you get done running. Yeah, it's pretty. So if you're a fast runner, you get done and you can totally pig out on all the good food. But the 101st, they have all the cool. They have all these folks that are like, yeah, this guy was 101st, and so they mentioned Jimi Hendrix and Jimi Hendrix was Screaming Eagle.
101st, man, Screaming Eagle. That's really it's a really cool division and paratroopers, right? So he was a paratrooper, and one of the things I remember hearing reading was the fact that he was injured during a paratrooping incident.
Yeah, and so that would be a good question to ask him. What's up with that? Because I've read somewhere else that he had said he got injured, and that's why he got out of the Army.
Yeah.
But then when they pulled his Army records, so I'm worried someone's going to pull my records too. You said you did this, but it's not in the records. Yeah. Stolen valor. We're coming for you. But they said he got out for really they just said he was a bad soldier. When you look at it, but the history of that is he was playing guitar all the time. like what I read, he was playing guitar all the time.
Yeah.
And then finally, the sergeant major was like, "This guy's never going to be a good soldier. He just wants to play guitar." Because I could see, I could totally see. We were talking about this. I could totally see like you know, where's Hendrix? Airborne. Airborne.
He's like, I'm right here, sir. Just hanging out. You know, what do you need?
Where's Hendrix? Airborne.
Airborne who? I feel like I could totally see Jimi Hendrix just chilling out, like playing his guitar, and like first sergeant.
Hendrix! If the Army wanted you to have guitar, is you on Airborne?
Yeah, that's pretty true. Yes. Could you just see him like out in the field, just like everybody's trying to be quiet, enemy lines, and he's just like, whatever, man. I'm just playing my jams.
Airborne! The Viet Cong's gonna shoot you, Airborne!
Well, they won't be able to see us because I will distract them with my sweet musical notes.
Airborne! Like, first sergeant just like have a meltdown.
I can see that.
It was like they're probably just trying to keep the first. I say first sergeant, but the sergeant major. They probably should keep the sergeant major alive, just not having a meltdown with having Hendrix in the unit, because he's probably like this exasperated with
the progression of like, okay, give me the guitar. Okay, you're gonna put it over here. And he's just like a little kid. He's like, okay, I won't do it again. And he's like, goes to get his guitar, and just starts playing again.
Yeah, and I could not see like the sergeant major Airborne, like the idea that someone's gonna take care of a guitar more than take care of the
rifle.
Yeah, like that's gonna totally melt down. His whole brain's gonna melt out his ears before.
And the fact that he's like not doing it, like after you've you had a talk with the first sergeant and then the squad leaders or something. It's like, okay, we need him to shine his rifle, and then they're going off on him, and he's just like, nah, it's not there's no progression of that happening. It's crazy.
That's it. So I think the question is how did you really get out of the Army?
Me or Jimi Hendrix?
Hendrix. I think that's the first question, right?
Yeah, that is. Yeah, what happened with that? Obviously, paratrooping. I could see it being, an injury because they don't hit the ground. Like, people see paratroopers, and it's just like, oh yeah, they glide down, and it's a nice, easy, like, you just pull the brakes and just nice, easy landing. No, those guys are falling at like 25 miles.
With 105 pounds of gear on.
Yeah, with a bunch of gear. It's like, it's astounding that like they don't break their legs just randomly. Like, it's crazy. Although I'm sure that happens. I would.
When the C-17s came online, I remember there was a bunch of tests they had to do because at first they were jumping out and they were getting into the turbulence and it was flipping paratroopers upside down. That's bad. When the paratroopers above the parachute.
Oh yeah.
And so so they had to change like the flap formation and stuff as the C-17s were dropping them so that they don't have adverse event, or change the static lines too as they jump out. So you got to do all types of tests.
Okay.
When they jump out. Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, that's just okay. So that's one of my questions. What was
what did you get out of the Army? All right. So one of my questions, I think, is somewhat related to that. It was what's your beef with Noel Redding? And the reason why I want to ask that was obviously there was some friction going on with Noel Redding, and there's a story of him. He meets Billy Cox in the Army, and they form the band Casuals. And so after the Jimi Hendrix experience, he has Billy Cox there on bass instead of Noel Redding. Mm-hmm. So I think, kind of based on the fact that I think Jimi Hendrix is a little bit proud about being a Screaming Eagle. Okay. I think he was bringing a fellow Screaming Eagle in to be his bassist, and that bond was just stronger than his bond with Noel Redding. Mm-hmm. But was there something else going on too? I just kind of think it may not have been as much. When I first read it, I was like, man, he really didn't like Noel Redding. But then when I found out, it was like, oh, this guy's another Screaming Eagle. Yeah. I was like, that's what's going on here.
It's not that he didn't like him.
Yeah. So like, what was really going on with Noel Redding and I think and Billy Cox. So
right.
I could see like if you didn't know about the Screaming Eagles and you were in the band, you wouldn't understand what was like why you were being kicked out. Oop, we got I think the cat wants to escape.
Will it jump down or no? No.
Skipper!
Don't let his non-jumping skills not fool you. That cat is a stone cold. Oh my gosh, it's a killer.
So what's question 3?
All right, question 3. Let's see here. After one of the breaks, he was talking to. Oh yeah, okay. So this was on the Winterland album. After one of his songs, I'll do a little quote here. So he just was kind of. I think it was like one of the something broke, right? And they needed a couple minutes, to fix it. So he was just talking to the audience, which is the awesome part about live shows. But so he says, he's just trying to give you all some kind of natural feeling, hope this electric feeling is hitting you in the chest, in your heart. Obviously, I didn't say it as cool as he did. He just sounds cool when he says it. But I thought that was a really cool, just statement that he was making to the audience. He was a dude who was spreading a lot of good vibes, in a time that there was a lot of bad stuff going on, basically. So I thought it was just cool, like that heart to heart with the audience and kind of what he's trying to do, as a human and as an artist too, and that experience. The Jimi Hendrix experience. It's cool.
So what's your question at that?
How are you so cool, man?
That's good. So why is that? Where's he?
I think my question out of it would be, what's the goal, man? You're out there, you're playing shows and stuff. It feels like there's more to it than just going out and playing music. Obviously, he loves music, but he's kind of like I said, spreading those good vibes to the people. So, is that kind of what you were doing? What was your focus with that? Would kind of be what is something I would want to know. Yeah.
Cool. What's your vibe?
Good vibes.
So this next question, that's what is what 3? This is 4.
3, yeah.
How much did the 101st influence him, or Screaming Eagles? My question for him would be, and this could be the 25-year-old Jimi Hendrix, but I think I'd rather ask the older Jimi Hendrix as he reflects back.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking when you're 25, maybe you don't quite I'm not saying you don't comprehend, but maybe some of the influences that are popping up out of him, he's not realizing where they're coming from. So sometimes when you're older, you self-reflect back on, why was I doing something? Mm-hmm. And you're like, that's maybe I was more influenced by this, that.
Right.
So my question is, how much did that 101st or Screaming Eagle experience carry over into his career? And specifically, I read the story about him and the Marshall, when he's playing, there's the Hendrix setting, which is all the way up, right? He's everything's loud. He's gonna blow out the speakers.
Let's go!
Yeah, and so when I heard that, I was like, that is so Airborne, right? There's no zero. You're either all in or you're not in at all. You can't be halfway in to Airborne. You're all the way in. When you jump out that plane, you're committed.
Yeah.
So
so
that's where I was going. I was like, did he take some of his personality, and then the Army just kind of, even though they were you're not a good soldier, but they maybe just kind of honed in this.
He still went through basic training
and then Airborne
school. So you've got to have. You got to be disciplined to get through that as well, and like you said, committed as well.
Just that whole hua, you know what I mean? He's just, we're turning him up all the way. There's no other setting. I just.
And it kind of played it.
Yeah, because every paratrooper, when I talk to folks, always the guys I knew, all the Airborne guys I know, it was just, if your laptop doesn't turn on right away, boom, Sicko! it's broken. It's out the window, right?
Yeah.
Singo, need a new computer, right? It's sex. So yeah, that's kind of like I view this like in Hendrix kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm reading that into that too much. But the other thing, like he invents the Hendrix chord, so he comes up with these things that are innovative, and so how much of that was, I mean, it's purely his personality, but did that Screaming Eagle experience kind of, I don't want to say force him, but maybe gave him some drive to be everything at full power all the time. Right. Even he got in bar fights. When I read that, I was like,
really?
Like, they said he would go into bars and it was like he liked getting in fights. I'm like, that sounds like every army base I was around in the 90s. Like if you went to a bar and there was a bunch of army folks around, you were like, let's get in fights. And because it was what was to do.
Yeah, it's just part of the culture, maybe.
Yeah, and I'm thinking in the 70s, and so I think that changed
as it time progressed.
Yeah, I think
people just wanted to
go to an bar and have a drink. Bars.
Compared to, man, I feel like fighting tonight. Let's go to the bar.
When I was in Singapore, I remember Singapore for the port calls, this is the Navy, but for the port calls, they actually had a separate area of the city-state that they made just for U.S. service members when the port call came in. Okay. Because they're like they all come off the and it's like they just annoyed everybody in the bars. So they basically there's these bars that they would open up whenever the port call was. Okay. Just for U.S. service members because the culture was so different from the locals.
Oh yeah. Oh, and not to mention that they've been on a boat for how long?
They have lots of money.
Yeah. They're just like it's toddlers at Chuck E. Cheese, man. It's just look out.
That's where you're going. All right. So what's question 5?
Okay. Well, I covered that. Spreading good vibes. Oh, so I read another piece that Jimi Hendrix, he wasn't able to read or write music. He was kind of self-taught, and kind of went from what he would listen to it, right, and then he would practice and play. So I thought that was pretty awesome. I guess I would want to know if he would think, did that play into effect? Did he see that as an advantage? Not having that structure, I guess, from reading and writing music, etc., to just having that freedom of being able to listen to it, practice and play, because I feel like even in like today's society, I said that really weird.
Society?
It gets so like structured in certain things, like whatever career or whatever stuff you're doing, that wasn't there. Like he had his military there was a lot of rigidity in that, but coming from growing up and learning to play guitar, he was just going off what he felt.
He didn't.
Which I thought was cool.
He wasn't constrained by preconceived notions of this is this is the box set or this is what's been done, and you can't break the sound barrier, right?
Right. And he's inventing, like you were saying, like new chords, cranking it up. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah, I'd want to know if he thought that kind of. I think it kind of played an effect on him and like made him a part of who he was. So yeah, I want to know if he agreed with that or not. If he was just like, yeah, it would have been nice to maybe be able to read or write a little bit music, but it wasn't like super important. So
yeah, I think that's a tough one. I mean, we good conversation to have. Because you're bringing in, like, if you deny someone education, this is sort of like, what was that, if you have a really tough childhood, kind of, out of that comes a diamond, you're, all this pressure.
All the pressure.
Pressure on you.
Pressure makes diamonds.
And then that the pressure makes a diamond, which is, I mean,
sometimes.
Yeah, but that's very dystopian as well, right? I mean, to get greatness, do you have to go through?
Yeah, probably not. But it was part of what, I think made him. Who knows, right?
But the tough parts of my past, I cherish them just because, I mean, it does make you, it does make you stronger, makes you see things
Right.
in a different way.
Perceptive changing.
Yeah, you see stuff in other folks may not. So cool question. So now we're up on question 6.
6.
Question 6.
I blew through I know we've only done 6 questions. I have 2.
This is my turn though.
Okay, good. Good.
So I think we're good. So all right. So my question. So 1968 is kind of this lots of psych music coming out, and so there's this idea that the culture or the counterculture, that this music is the vehicle of spreading the message of the counterculture. And so with that idea in hand, there's there's LSD, and it's being tested out at Stanford University, and there's 3 characteristics maybe of this idea that time isn't constant, and so how do you portray that music?
Yeah,
so I think some of this
deep.
time's not Einstein, right? So relativity. Yeah. So you're instead of Newtonian physics, we're now talking relativity physics, and so you take your LSD, but your perception now is no longer that time is constant. Time is there's a 25-year-old Jimi Hendrix. There's us now, and there's us when you're watching this in the future.
Yeah.
Right. So what is time?
What is time?
And
but a set of numbers.
So, but within psych music, how do you play it so that there's this time distortion going on, depersonalization, so you lose the sense of self, and then dynamism, so you take something and make everything kind of wobble, and when you look at Hendrix, I mean, certainly the depersonalization, you would argue that his volume is what does that, right? It's so loud, you get the depersonalization going on, you can't think. They talk about him like he gets in front of the amps and he does the whole feedback thing, right? He adds feedback to his music. He stands right in front of the speaker, playing his guitar, and he has a filter on, so he can turn it off and on, and that way every now and then you get that wah, right? That just you can't think. You get that sound and you're like wah. I mean, especially right? Your brain's just like, maybe I don't exist anymore. I don't exist. I don't want to exist with that sound. And so that depersonalization, and he plays that, and so I think he hits a lot of this in Purple Haze, and then dynamism, like the way you focus on words, maybe. We were talking about Airborne earlier. Like he emphasizes a word that you would not normally think about as important. Yeah, and you just be like haze. Normally you're just like, well, that's cool. No, haze.
Like. Wait, what? Haze. And it just sticks with you, is that?
Yes. Yeah, you get then you're like, whoa. Yeah. That is what it is, haze, right? It is all about haze. And so he does this stuff. So kind of my question on this is, there's a couple academic papers that really break this out. But does he? Because you're saying, does he go into these practice sessions thinking about these 3 things and how he's going to hit them and just keep working on it, or is he just organically playing it? Right? Yeah. So I like to think he's organically playing it.
I feel that's what it is. Yeah.
But he practices a lot. He just practices. I mean, he's a work hard, play hard kind of guy. So it came. Airborne. I mean, everything Airborne. He comes across really natural. But was he trying to go for these things? How much was he realizing that these are the things that he needed to hit on and then make happen? And so that's kind of my question. I remember hearing Kurt Vonnegut was at a university. And somebody asked him about his book, and he was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just tried to write a book. Right? And so it was that more Hendrix or did he actually think about these
Oh.
different? You know what I mean? Like
That's what you're saying, yeah.
they were breaking down Kurt Vonnegut.
Yeah.
And Vonnegut was like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Playing music, man. It could be, yeah.
Or would Jimi Hendrix be like that? Like I was just playing music. Did he actually hit on those things?
Yeah. Yeah, he seems like a very, like, chill guy.
I mean, he's 25, but I mean, he
like
seems pretty.
conversation.
Yeah. All right, you got question 7.
Let me see. Oh yeah. So this is kind of off the beaten path, but Fort Campbell, Kentucky, where he was stationed out of for a year or so. I was just gonna ask him, hey, obviously there's a lot of good food to eat down there. It's Kentucky. It makes me think of Kentucky hot browns. I was like,
What are Kentucky hot browns?
so Kentucky hot browns, it's an open faced sandwich basically, right? And so I think they put it in like a small skillet.
So wait a second. When I invited Joe to come do this,
Yeah.
the first thing Joe asked me was, "What are we gonna eat?" That's why I like Joe. Like Joe's got his priorities straight. So sorry. So like, go on. So now so you got open face.
It's important.
You got the priorities. What's the food?
Right? All right. So it's an open faced sandwich. Starts with toast. They got it in a little skillet, right?
Yeah.
And then they'll put like usually like a slice of turkey on it. And they got like some tomatoes, some bacon. They'll sprinkle some cheese on it and like a Mornay sauce, so like a white sauce. And then they put 2 pieces of bacon and they put it in the whatchamacallit. It's an
Like a
oven.
fryer or
An oven, but when they do it, it's the heat's from the top.
broiler.
Broiler, yeah, broiler. So and that kind of like browns up the cheese, man. It's really good. And I could totally see Jimi Hendrix. Obviously, him and his bandmates are playing shows late till like 2 a.m. or later.
Totally.
You know they're gonna go to like an after-hour spot to get some Kentucky hot browns. After they've been partying. And,
Dude, you were totally right. Like a Kentucky hot brown, like late at night, especially. Oh, that would be.
it hit the spot.
It would totally hit the spot.
Yeah.
That would totally.
And it would sober you up, like if you've been having a little bit to drink, sure.
Or keep you from getting sick because it would just help absorb and give you some like fat to like prevent
Yes.
it. Like especially if you had indulged in like
Yeah, whatever thing you're doing, or
Yeah.
whatever stuff. Yeah. So I want to know, like, yeah, did you ever get a chance to eat Kentucky hot browns? And what did you think? Were you a fan? Like, what was your favorite food? Like,
But this also kind of sounds kind of sad because it's like he's dead now. So it's like,
Yeah.
You never got to try a Kentucky hot brown?
I don't. So it was invented in 1927. So it was around when he was around.
But if you didn't get to try it, you're kind of like poking it in Jimi Hendrix's ghost face. You never got
purpose.
But you did. You just did. That's what I'm saying.
Jimi Hendrix. That's not what I meant. No.
You never got to taste this magical thing. Now I have to go to Kentucky and try this thing.
Dude, you should. It was one of my. We cooked it in a class that I took, and it was one of.
What class were you
I took
in?
a cooking class. Why is that funny? You're just like. It was an intro to cooking class. You're still losing it. Do I not? Okay. So, anyways, it was one of my favorite dishes that I got to cook. Yeah.
That's good. I'm just like, today in Statistics 101, we're going to talk about the Kentucky hot brown. Hey.
That's exactly how it happened.
Remember the student's t-test was admitted when Dr. Student was testing beer. Today we're going to talk about how we use the Kentucky Brown test.
And I learned a lot about Kentucky Browns. I really want to try an authentic one too, like in Kentucky. I don't know. I wonder if it's still out of the Brown Hotel.
I have no idea, man. We gotta just do like a whole show, like where we just talk about Kentucky Browns and like what they do. All right, I like that question.
All right.
With Jimi Hendrix, Kentucky. Do you like Kentucky Browns? What was that? This question 7. I got question 8. Jimi Hendrix views the guitar as a technology, and so it's not. The wah-wah pedals. You see Purple Haze where he meets a musician. They're testing out a new pedal. He's like, I want that pedal. Like I want the new pedal. You hear things on those records that a lot of a lot of folks weren't doing, and he adds all this technology. He's constantly, whammy bar, wah-wah pedal. I think it was if I say it right, Octavia pedal. Even the filters, when he talks about, 'cause I like that when you talk about the filter and you're saying, like, positive feedback is usually not a good thing in dynamic systems, because right, you get overloaded, like bad, that's hard point scratch.
Okay.
But he puts a filter on it, right? He puts a dampener right there in the middle, and he's like, and then he turns it on so your brain explodes.
Yeah, because Jimi Hendrix don't care. Yeah.
Well, he wants you not to know you're you. So, right, so you turn on that positive feedback loop in that technology. So I remember there's a quote about him talking about how sometimes he has these sounds in his brain that he can't quite play out on his guitar.
Oh.
So Elon Musk has been talking about these neural brain chips. So for enhanced cyber, because he's envisioning the future where there's computers that are super smart, and the only way humans are going to be able to keep up is with cyber enhancement.
Oh, wow.
Would Jimi Hendrix today be one of the first folks to get the chip implant and like connect it up to a synthesizer?
I'm going to say a hard yes.
My opinion. That's your opinion, yeah. So you're thinking like...
Judging by what, the past, newest technology, newest tech, right? That's what he wants. I could see him being like, yeah, man. The guy's pushing the limits.
He is pushing the limits.
Yeah.
Airborne. He gets pushing 9.
I could see it. Okay, is it my turn for a question?
Yes,
okay.
your turn.
Well, damn, the Kentucky Hot Brown is my last question.
I got one. So I have one on. You were talking about like he played music by hearing it, and there's a story of him where he's like playing a broomstick, and like the social workers like, we have got to buy this kid a guitar, and they can't get enough money to buy the kid a guitar, and finally he finds this ukulele. The story is they find a ukulele with one string, and he starts playing all these songs on the ukulele with one string.
One string.
With one string. The thing is,
one.
This story is kind of like George Washington and the cherry tree. Like,
sure. Yeah.
Like it comes across to me that way.
It's like a legendary. What do you call that? Like a legend.
You could call it a legend.
Yeah.
We'll call it a legend.
Yeah.
Is that what this is? Is that a legend? I mean, it just seemed because
one string.
With one string. Because I'm envisioning this 5-year-old with this little ukulele playing it with one string with
He's probably pretty good.
Yeah, he's probably pretty good. But it's just so sad. Like the other part of it is just.
They only have one string.
Well, yeah, it's a ukulele, and they give him a guitar.
A real guitar, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
it could be worse. It could have been a Kleenex box with a shoelace,
Like, that's pretty much. I don't know. And it could be worse than a ukulele with one string. Like,
that's pretty bad. Yeah.
Like you can't. It's like, pretty bad. Yeah. So how true is that story? Is really my question. Like I want to dive into that and just. I
would too. I'd also want to hear the tunes he was playing on the ukulele.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great story. I think it really is. It's just.
It's Jimi Hendrix, right?
Yeah, it's Jimi Hendrix.
So if anybody's gonna play a one-string ukulele and rock it, it's probably him.
Yeah. It's probably gonna be Jimi. He grows up playing a one-string ukulele. So that was my question. I think here's the last question. Question 10. So this Boston Globe interview, and he's with that pretentious guy from Boston, and he's bugging Jimi Hendrix. And the question, this you maybe kind of hit on this earlier, was what's your message? And, Jimi Hendrix. What the interviewer gets into the question by first saying, there's a lot of fathers that are scared of their daughters listening to this music. What do you think about that? And Jimmy kind of answers, well, people are just afraid of what they don't know. Even today, when we travel, the band can't stay at certain hotels. And so I really want people just to get into the music and then listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
That was my interpretation of what was being said. But what if Jimi Hendrix is alive today? Like what would he? I mean, is he Moby where he's talking about the environment? You know, what does he see as the message, or is it very much the same type of message where we need to be communicating and talking with one another more and trying to solve problems? Is that the message? So as he looks, if Jimi Hendrix saw the world today, you know, what does he, you know, from his artist view, what would he see as his need to put a message out?
Yeah. That's a big one. Like,
So that's question 10.
That's a good question. It really is.
So we came up so today we revealed what was inside the Winterland box set, and then we talked about 10 questions we wanted to ask Jimi Hendrix. If you liked what you heard today, please subscribe. If not, please subscribe too. And if you're in Omaha, want to come down and see Baby Shark Beer down at the back line.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.